Does the name Troy Jackson not ring a bell? Well, how about when we call him Escalade? Now, there is a lot of talk about this legendary street ball player, so let's see the story of the 500-pound monster that the NBA players fear.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Street basketball versus NBA-style basketball. Street basketball, aka street ball, has a lot in common with NBA basketball, but there is a number of essential differences. First of all, classical basketball is more than 100 years old. It's the Olympic sport. In each country, there is a basketball league. This beautiful sport has the traditions and rules established by federations of the NBA and the FIBA. Street ball, that's a relatively young sport. Most often, street ball is played under the open sky in the yard of fresh air. And the classical basketball games, in most cases, are held in the enclosed space on specially equipped basketball platforms. Also, these games differ by the number of players on the platform. And when it comes to the main difference, we have to mention rules that are strictly standardized. In street ball here, not everything is so unambiguous. There are no official rules in street ball. You're often playing on just a half court with less than a full 5-on-5 team that you would see in the NBA. And as the saying goes, no blood, no foul, street ball is generally more physical and less structured than NBA-style play. Troy Escalade Jackson. You all know who Mark Jackson is, right? When the Golden State Warriors hired him as head coach in 2011, he inherited a team that had gone 36-46 the previous season and had made one postseason appearance in 18 years. Jackson came in, instilled a different mindset, and completely changed the culture. Mark Jackson was the former point guard who played in the league between 1987 and 2004, and he not only shares the last name of our legendary Escalade, but blood ties. He was indeed none other than Troy Jackson's big brother. Some fans were so shocked when they found out about that. So what about you? Did you know that? As it seems, they are pretty much a basketball family. Mark and Troy were very talented on the court. Troy was always the biggest player out there, weighing almost close to 500 pounds. But size did not matter, as Troy is one of the best players on the court. He was very skilled at his size and could handle the ball very well. Troy played in college at Wallace Community College before transferring to the University of Louisville. While at Louisville, he dropped his weight down to about 363 pounds. He only played in 20 games during his time at Louisville and averaged 3 points and 1.6 rebounds coming off of the bench. In 2002, he joined the And One mixtape tour and became a well-known street ball player with And One. His nickname that he used, Escalade, was because of his size, and even though he battled weight problems his entire career, he managed to become a popular fixture on the street ball circuit. The nickname was actually a reference to the Cadillac SUV, and as you can see from the title of the video, he is considered to be the 500-pound monster player. He even appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated and was described as a street ball legend by the magazine Jet. Escalade gained a lot of followers during his time playing with And One, and he always put on a show for the crowd. As it's known, Troy and Mark were super close friends and talked on the phone several times a day. But Troy never put it out there because he did not want to leech off of his brother's fame. He wanted to make it on his own, to pave his own way. And what a path the late Escalade made, paving his own way as demonstratively as he drove the lane, overcoming obstacles at first his mammoth size, and then with his even greater kindness. In fact, by 2005, when Mark's epic playing career was over and it was Escalade in the spotlight, Little Bro had surpassed Big Bro in fame. I remember one time we were walking through the mall and some kids ran behind us, and I am thinking, they must recognize me. Instead, one of them taps me on the shoulder shyly and asks, "Can we take a picture with Escalade?" And that was one of the first of what became many times where he was the one people wanted to meet. As their mother says, it took Troy a little while to mature because Mark made Troy feel like he had it all. Mark made him feel like he was part of everything in that NBA life, and that made Troy a brat for a little bit. But he matured, and he became my gentle giant. He and Mark obviously had a really special relationship, says Marie Jackson, Escalade's mother. Did you notice that? We mentioned only Escalade without Mark being mentioned. Where Mark considered the game his calling since he was a young boy, Troy took a little longer to take it seriously, perhaps distracted by the lavish lifestyle that Mark had shared with him. As Marie said, Mark was 8 years old when he told he was going to play ball. He had the discipline that Troy did not. Troy had the talent, but not the discipline. If Troy had the discipline that Mark did, he could have played anywhere. Not that Troy did too badly for himself. The success he found as a player at Half Hollow Hills High School in East Long Island, coupled with some flashy ball handling and passing he showcased at Harlem's Rucker Park, earned him a look from Wallace Community College in Selma, Alabama. He played there for 2 seasons and left after his sophomore year, having been named to the All-Region team. When streetball became available as a career, he jumped at it. It was the place for him, and he did not work another day in his life. Now, you must have heard the saying, you better find something you like and do that. And that was Troy's absolute reality. And he was so smooth with great hands and touch. On the streetball level, people loved him because of the way he could pass and handle for a big guy. Do you think there's ever been anyone in streetball with his size that could move and handle as he did? We highly doubt it. Shaquille O'Neal is considered the modern physical giant of basketball, and he rarely played at more than 325 pounds. Troy never played a game as an adult anywhere close to that weight. And as Mark Edwards, an Atlanta-based basketball trainer who helped And One launch the mixtape tour, said, Escalade had more personality than Shaq. At his size, with his athleticism and his ability to handle the ball, he wanted to make it in basketball, and in a way, he did, recalls Mark Jackson. His struggle was the weight, really. He was so much younger than us. My dad would get paid on a Friday, and he'd go do something special with the youngest one. Often that was going to McDonald's for a Big Mac. So he was always big, but he could still dominate a certain level of competition at his size. He had an incredible feel for the game. But when you elevated the competition, that's when you noticed the conditioning and the size hurt him. And later he explained that Troy traveled all around the world and touched so many lives. Grayson the Professor Boucher. Growing older in age, Troy's weight loss issues came knocking. Grayson, the Professor Boucher, who is most known for playing on the And One mixtape tour, considers Escalade his best friend. And of all of his teammates, it would be the Professor that had noticed that Troy's weight was no longer helping him in the same way that it used to. Worried about how Troy's weight was affecting his performance, the Professor tried nudging him into a healthier lifestyle. But soon he accepted the fact that Troy simply was not interested in losing weight. And hey, we totally get it. Like, how could he be? His entire success story gravitated around that fact. He was doing things that no one thought it was possible for that gigantic of a man. Troy Jackson's tragic death. It was a Sunday morning in February of 2011, the All-Star Weekend, when Troy died in his sleep at the age of 35. The cause of his death was hypertensive heart disease. His death sent shockwaves through the basketball community, especially among close friends of the Jackson family. As it was reported, Jackson was found unresponsive in his hotel room shortly before noon on Sunday. Escalade was someone that everyone enjoyed being around. So many people felt his presence, and he had a huge impact on the streetball world. Some people called him a gentle giant because he had a big frame, but a sweet soul. Troy would be 47 today. His playing days would be over, but it's not hard to imagine him still being on the scene in a big way, as an announcer, a coach, a scout, or a social media celebrity. After all, he did what he wanted. He lived the life he liked before the day of his death.